Good day, everyone. My name is Humphrey from Monash University, and I'm going to talk about our ICSE-SEIS paper titled A First Look at Human Values Violation in App Reviews. We're going to talk about a brief background on the work, our methodology, and also the results that we got from our analysis. Ubiquitous technologies have a tremendous influence on the evolution of the socio-cultural aspect of the different facets of life in society, and their effects on society cannot be ignored. Smartphones, for example, and the accompanying mobile apps that we use are a very good example of ubiquitous technologies. We use our apps to do many things, from entertainment, watching YouTube, to transportation, for example, using Google Maps. Given the ubiquity of mobile apps in everyday life, we ought to understand the relationship between human values and development and deployment of mobile apps. And now also mobile apps in turn embody human values. It is a common knowledge that there are various stakeholders involved in development of software systems. All of the stakeholders have different values considerations that need to be acknowledged. However, if we don't properly acknowledge and document all of these different values from stakeholders, we'll end up violating the values of one or more stakeholders. Also, there are consequences for values violation. We all are aware of the Facebook Cambridge Analytica saga a few years ago. It's one of the issues and consequences that result from the violation of human values in software systems. One of the guidelines, the Asiloma principle, states that AI systems should be designed and operated so as to be compatible with ideas of human dignity, rights, freedom, and cultural diversity. And we want to go beyond this. We want to go beyond AI systems and also want to apply this generally to technology and also to software systems in general. What's the definition? What's the formal description of human values? Cheng and others in 2010 define human values as the guiding principles of what people consider important in life. Concepts like achievement, power, tradition, benevolence, security, autonomy, freedom, all of these are good examples of human values. Human values determine human behavior and attitude, and they also serve as guides for actions and also as a vehicle for expressing need. Consider the following example. Consider this mobile app that's developed to provide paid parking services to institutions such as city councils or universities and parks. Users sign up to the app for a more convenient method of parking instead of the use of maybe the traditional pay machine. Unfortunately, while well-intentioned, this particular app may violate the values of its different users. These are real user reviews of that parking application. For example, there's a concern on privacy. A user says, "There's no one giving your app my location or access to my photos." And then also the perceived violation of honesty when the user found it difficult to cancel their subscription. So this is an example of human values violation or perceived violation from the end user. The aim or the goal of our work is to help developers, not just developers, all of different stakeholders to understand and identify end users values violation, and also to help them fix and avoid these kind of issues in the future. And to that end, we came up with three research questions. The first one is, what are the most common human values violations perceived by app users as expressed in their mobile app reviews? The second question is, which reviews indicate human values violations by a mobile app that are most supported by other end users? And the third question is whether or not specific app features are related to specific human values violation. For our methodology, we turn to the trust theory of basic human values This theory of basic human values categorizes 58 human values into 10 categories. And this is based on the survey that was carried out in several countries, and it covers different factors, including age, cultural practices, and gender. Furthermore, the trust theory of basic human values have gained wide acceptance in other disciplines beyond social sciences, and we've even seen adoption of it within software engineering and computer science. So these are some of the reasons we chose to go with the trust theory of basic human values. Now we turn to our approach. First, we collected data, collected approximately 22,000 app reviews from 12 apps from the Google Play Store. And the apps that we chose it to cover a wide range of audiences and age groups with different expectations and interactions with technology. We did pre-processing. We carry out steps like correcting misspelled words, we remove stop words, did stemming. And then at the next step, we created a values dictionary. And our values dictionary is based on the trust theory of basic human values. This dictionary consisted of values terminology and the associated synonyms and antonyms. And to make the dictionary thorough and comprehensive, we use entries from an online thesaurus and Merriam-Webster dictionary. And also to address coherency issues, we included only entries that are semantically and contextually related to the values terms. And then we created an oracle, a truth set. The truth set was done by 2 researchers with extensive experience in value-based software engineering. We labeled 709 reviews. All the researchers, they did a pilot round each, and then they discussed their disagreements. And then after resolving the disagreement, they went ahead to label the rest of the data. We also collected app features from the app description on the Play Store. The next step involved a combination of a probabilistic approach and sentiment analysis to check whether or not there's a values violation in the particular corpus of text. And we found that our approach was relatively good because it's a statistical approach. We had a recall of 3%, a precision of 69%, and an F measure of 75%. Trust to validity includes the definition of the truth sets because it was done by people. Even though their experience, there's also the issue of subjectivity in the definition of the truth sets. So we'll also have a threat to internal validity because our F measure is 75%. So there are room for errors in our results. And then finally, we selected 12 apps out of the millions of apps that are available from the Google Play Store. What we tried to do, although, was to get apps that are representative of different background and different age groups. The results. So the result of our first research question, what are the most common human values violation perceived by app users as expressed in the mobile app reviews? We found that benevolence, self-direction, and hedonism were the most violated values category, as shown in the app reviews. Our second research questions, which says that which reviews indicating human values violation by mobile app are the most supported by other end users. So here we made the assumption that the more likes there are to a review, the higher the consensus about the issue captured in that review by other users. By extension, it is probable that if such a review contains a values violation, the other users who supported that review might agree with the value consideration captured in that review. So self-direction, benevolence, hedonism also came up as the most supported human values violation by the end users. We also wanted to know if there are app features that are related to specific human values violations, and indeed there were. For instance, the value of pleasure was violated in the Pick Arts app, and it's related to the art stickers feature. Now that we've seen that we've seen that there's a potential for human values violation or perceived human values violation in apps. Where do we go from here? The first thing is mining values requirements. App reviews are a valuable source of ideas from users, and they've been mined for various kinds of information. We've gotten feature requests from app users, bug reports, etc. And this has fed into requirements and also into future updates of the app. In a similar approach, key human values requirements can be mined from app reviews. However, we note here that although mining reviews for values requests can be useful, it's a reactive process, and it should come at the very last. We should rather focus on a proactive method of capturing stakeholder values in the first place, and then this mining values requirement would come as a supplement to it, because mining values requirement is after the fact and it's a reactive process. The second recommendation is values alignment between stakeholders. Ever present is a question of values alignment between stakeholders. And it's established that artifacts themselves, software artifacts to be precise, are not neutral. They embed values. And if the values of all stakeholders are not properly considered, they will inadvertently capture or embody the values of the software creators. For example, they'll capture the values of the software engineers. There's also the challenge of matching the values of stakeholders and resolving values conflict when there's a disagreement between values representations. We really want to emphasize the place of sitting down with all stakeholders in participatory co-design and other methods to make sure that values are aligned between all of the stakeholders. The third step is a critical technical practice in mobile software engineering. Like we said at the beginning of this presentation, mobile apps have an influence on society. We use them for different tasks, and since we know that they have this kind of influence on society, it is important to understand the social cultural context of these smartphones and mobile applications and how they affect or change society. Acknowledging the harmony that ought to exist between technology and users' value system, it's an important thing for consideration. Also, understanding the space between the technical aspects of mobile software development and software development in general, and reflective work of social cultural criticism would help highlight the hidden assumptions in the technical process. A critical technical practice will entail engaging with social and human sciences approaches, such as critical theory, to open up the assumptions underpinning mobile software engineering and how they affect society, the different facets of society. And in so doing, we can evaluate the contribution of mobile software applications and mobile software engineering's contribution to the society. To summarize, values are embodied and violated in mobile apps. We analyzed 22,000 app reviews from 12 apps, and more than a quarter of all the reviews we analyzed contain perceived values violation. Also, there's a need for proactive approaches in supporting values in mobile software engineering. Thank you.